of Budweiser. This undisputed championship bout is sanctioned by the WBA, President Gilberto Mendoza, Supervisor Aurelio Fiengo, the WBC, President Jose Suleiman, Supervisor Claude Jackson, the IBF, President Mariam Mohammed, Supervisor Mahassan Scott, and the Pennsylvania State Athletic Commission, the Executive Director is Greg Serb. Introducing to you our three judges scoring the bout from ringside. From Edmond, Oklahoma, Gary Ritter. From Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Adelaide Triplett. From Rivervale, New Jersey, Steve Weisfeld. And the third man in the ring, the referee in charge of this bout, working in this his 86th world title bout, Frank Cappuccino. All right, fans, here we go. 12 rounds of boxing for the undisputed middleweight championship of the world. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, live from Reading, Pennsylvania, it's time for the main event of the evening. Introducing to you first the challenger. On my right, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black trunks with silver trim, hailing from St. Louis, Missouri. He weighed in at the middleweight limit of 160 pounds even. His record stands at 47 wins, 3 losses, 1 draw, with 30 wins coming by way of knockout. Currently ranked the #1 middleweight contender by the WBA. Here is the former WBA super welterweight champion of the world, introducing Karl Дэниэлs. And his opponent across the ring, the defending world champion on my left, fighting out of the red corner, wearing black trunks with silver trim, fighting out of and representing his hometown of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He weighed in at a trim and ready 158 3/4 pounds. His record stands at 40 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw, 29 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight he is making an unprecedented 15th defense of his middleweight title. Here is the consensus fighter of the year, the undisputed middleweight champion of the world, introducing Bernard, the executioner Hopkins. And once again, our referee in charge, Frank Cappuccino, now to give instructions. 12 rounds of boxing scheduled.
Bernard, Carl, Bernard.
Good evening, gentlemen. You were both given your instructions. Protect yourself at all times. Touch gloves. Touch gloves. I leave it with you.
I'll take it.
Bernard Hopkins says that it's not just winning, it's how he wins. He understands the stakes because Roy Jones is going to be watching this, and he comes next.
Now this Daniels got not any sweat on his body whatsoever. Hopkins is a little juicy and a little wetness on him, so he stands, it's possible, a quick knockout.
Here we go, the beginning of round 1. Daniels the southpaw. Hopkins a conventional fighter. Bernard told us yesterday his game plan isn't so much about worrying about keeping his outside foot outside of Daniels' lead foot, but rather to take the fight up the middle through Daniels' chest.
Stop! Break! 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 Step back, both of you.
Daniels got to make sure he confuses, make sure that Hopkins thinks, hey, you're not in the ring with your last opponent. I'm somebody different. Confuse him for at least 2 or 3 rounds and then get wild with him pick up the pace in the 4th, 5th, and 6th rounds if he's got that much savvy. Hopkins got to make certain he doesn't give this guy any extra courage. Make sure he takes the power early.
It's worth mentioning, Дэниэлс has not fought since December of 2000. 13-month layoff, second longest of his career. Said part of the problems the first 6 months were promoter problems. Then he says, as the #1 contender, he didn't want to risk getting in the ring with anyone else until he had a shot at Hopkins. Hence, here we are.
So far, so good for Дэниэлs. Got Hopkins confused, swinging and missing. Make him go back to his old
Step back,
unorthodox styling and all of that. Get him confused. You don't want him. He looked like a master boxer the last time. Don't make him look good this time.
Дэniэлs comes through with a straight left hand.
Let him go. You're holding. Let him out.
It's not an easy thing to fight in front of your hometown with all of your friends. You want to look good, make yourself look good, and the next thing you know, you're not getting off the canvas. And that's what Hopkins in a real strange position in this time.
Well, Hopkins told us he knew it was going to be an interesting situation fighting a southpaw. Bernard Hopkins trying to feel his way through here as we come to a close in the first round. If you haven't seen it yet, catch Sunday's replay of Picture Perfect, the stories behind the greatest photos in sports. This documentary takes a look back through the golden era of sports photography.
Push on it, son. When you get close up, make him move. Make him walk. Keep him moving. Keep him moving.
Reset. You can do it.
This is two.
Carl Дэniэлs says that he shadow boxed with Roy Jones when he was an alternate on the 1988 Olympic team. He did some pretty good shadow boxing in that first round, George.
That's what you want to do if you're Дэniэлs. Keep this thing so unorthodox, so you can unnerve Bernard Hopkins. Don't let him hit you with anything. Make him miss a lot. Then you got a fight on your hands.
Keep him up, man.
Hopkins, a looping left hook. Then he came back with a low right uppercut.
That's the Hopkins you want. Make him start fouling. Show exactly who he is. Don't make him look good. Then he'll get desperate and you can do something.
When you say show exactly who he is, George, what exactly do you mean?
Throughout his whole career, he's not been a master boxer. He's been a guy who likes to hit below the belt, hit behind the back, things of that nature. Bring that out of him, and then you can bring him back to the reality. Look, you're not a master boxer. Make him start slugging, then you outpoint him. Then go for a knockout in the last 2 or 3 rounds if you're still around. And that's what Дэniэлs is going to have to do. And so far, he's doing a good job. Make him miss.
Hopkins comes through with a right uppercut. The two exchanging power punches at close range. Hopkins going to work at the body of Carl Дэniэлs. The pace picking up here in the middle of the second round.
I know Hopkins would like to look good, as he did in his last fight.
But some guys don't let you look good, right?
That's what you want to do. Be the kind of guy who does not make him look good. Make him look raggedy, and then every time he misses, you hit him with 2 or 3 shots. Maybe the judges will pick up on it.
Come on.
Daniels pokes a right uppercut. Hopkins catching Daniels with a counter left hook to the head.
Daniels got to land something hard to make Hopkins decide that, hey, don't be so courageous against him. Make him a little reserved with his power. Got to hit him with something hard. Daniel has got to hit him with something hard.
All right, stop, both of them. Stop. Step back, Bernard. Step back.
Keep in mind tonight, it's a very special night of boxing here on HBO. A rare opportunity to see two undisputed champions back to back. Right now, let's head down to Miami and Jim Lampley.
All right, Fran, while you cover the fight in Reading, Pennsylvania, we're here in the American Airlines Arena, where later this evening, undisputed light heavyweight champion Roy Jones will strut his stuff once again in a mandatory title defense against Glenn Kelly of Australia. It's been a tumultuous week for Jones, who has unveiled a new rap song. And meanwhile, if you missed the premiere, catch a replay of Real Sports with Bryant Gumbel. With the Super Bowl tomorrow, what better time to look at sports books and gambling? We'll go behind the scenes to reveal the factors considered in setting the line for major sports events. And incidentally, the Rams remain 14-point favorites in New Orleans. Real Sports, where nothing is out of bounds. So from Miami, let's go back to the Pennsylvania Dutch country. Two undisputed champions performing on the same evening in separate venues back to Reading.
All the way back. Just stay there until the bell.
Daniels brought in Tommy Brooks to train him for this fight. Tommy Brooks, formerly with Mike Tyson, Pernell Whitaker, Vander Holyfield. One of the top guys out there.
CompuBox power shots through 2 rounds. Hopkins starting to heat up. 22 of 54, 41%. Daniels 11 of 25 at a 44% clip.
Step back. Good. Now that's what I want.
Daniel is starting to be the aggressor, cautiously being aggressive. But he's still making Hopkins miss. The only thing is he's got to hit him with something once he makes him miss.
Not seeing enough from a counter perspective.
No, it would be a brighter day for him if he could make certain that he makes Hopkins pay for every miss.
Hard shot to the body. And the two now trying to exchange blows at close range.
Daniel was able to sneak in a couple that time.
Hopkins sneaking some in as well.
Left and right jab by Daniel, right in between the defense of Hopkins. Hopkins is doing a good job of going to the body to make certain that this guy gets weaker every round. That's the only good thing he's doing so far in my book.
Delivers a left hook to the body, and Daniels comes right back, poking through Hopkins' defense. They are in close.
Hopkins really doing a good job on the body since he's having trouble reaching the head so far. What a good pro will do.
Straight through the defense of Carl Daniels comes Bernard Hopkins.
Cannot allow himself to stand in the middle of the ring and not defend himself. He's got to be moving or punching at all times.
Daniels and Hopkins. Explosive here to end the 3rd round. Daniels showing some heart.
unload. All right, babe? Go too far away. Just get a little closer, and you unload on him. Each side, make him walk. You got to make him walk. Don't let him try to rest on top of you, all right?
Stop, too. That was beautiful where you ended up in that round. Okay? We need more of that. We need more of that. How you feel? Good, good. Beautiful work. Hey, look.
Despite the perceived pressure to perform sensationally, Hopkins showing poise and patience, just fighting the man in front of him, going to the body.
And sometimes just a little under the body.
All right, let's bring in unofficial ringside scorer Arthur McCanty Sr. to see how he has it scored through 3.
I have it scored 30-27 after the third, and Hopkins is a better in the exchange on the inside, as I see it, and a very, very, very powerful puncher with that right cross.
And there you saw evidence of that right cross, busting right through the defense of Carl Daniels, and now Frank Cappuccino warning both fighters, keep it clean.
Larry Mercanti scored it at 2-1 for Hopkins. I gave the first to the challenger.
I think the challenger did squeeze out a round too, but he did so much better that last round because he was able to make Hopkins miss, as I've been saying all night, and then counter and hit him with something.
You heard Bowie Fischer, Hopkins' trainer, in between rounds. Ooh, Hopkins ripped the left hook to the head of Carl Daniels.
And when Hopkins jumped on him, he jumped right into a good straight right hand as well.
Bowie Fischer telling Hopkins, you're too far away, getting close. And Bernard listening to his longtime trainer for 13 years.
Hopkins is going for power now. He's throwing 1 or 2 shots at a time. He's taking his time to aim good.
No, stop. Step back.
Daniel once again is standing there. He's not moving his feet nor his head. Can't do that with Hopkins. You got to move something at all times. Or throw punches. Daniel's not doing either.
George, do you believe those body shots from Hopkins are starting to have an effect on Daniel's movement?
No doubt about it. He's been able to put those body punches in there. But look, you've been in training for 6 weeks. It's nothing wrong with getting some body shots. Keep moving.
Bernard Hopkins using the left hook this evening pretty much at will.
He is the champion. You got to beat him beyond reasonable doubt. So you got to pick it up, son. Hey, your boxing good, but you're not throwing enough punches. No, I ain't going to lie to you, baby. Hey, water. It's coming. I ain't going to lie to you. Okay? You're going to have to work harder. Take a look. Body is ripping, baby. That belly hiding under them trunks. Bring it out. Hit my legs. Hit my legs, not my head. All right, baby. I'm sorry. Computer, baby. Ice on my back.
Hopkins getting the measure now with that quick half cross, half jab, half hook that he tends to throw.
Back, Bernard, all the way back.
Instructions from Daniel's corner. You're doing everything right. You're just not throwing enough punches. So he's not doing everything right.
Very hard to accommodate a guy when he's hitting you with that kind of power. Hopkins is laying in some body shots that make you afraid to throw shots.
George, speaking of power, according to CompuBox, Hopkins landed 64% of those power shots in the 4th round. 16 of 25.
All those shots were in that body, and that's where it really counts. Takes your power away, makes your legs weak, and it gets you kind of scared to stand in front of him and hit him with anything.
Daniels not where he wants to be, in the corner, and he wisely ties up and gets out.
Let him go, Carl. Let him out, let him out. Okay.
Hopkins, 2 right hands slapping to the head and the body.
If you're Daniel, under no circumstances do you want to get into these exchanges. Don't exchange shots. Do what you're going to do and get out of there if you're Daniel.
Daniels is trying to move, but it seems that he seems to stop right in front of Hopkins. He moves around and then stops, and that's when Hopkins takes advantage and tees off.
That's what happens when you get so many body shots early in a fight. You just can't get away when you want to. Daniel told him to come on, man. I don't think he meant that.
Continuing to bruise the body and fire off power shot after power shot. And this is Hopkins' fight right now, in close. Daniels comes through with a straight 1-2. Beautiful straight left hand from Carl Daniels. In the 5th round.
There's a smirk on the face of Bernard Hopkins. He thinks he has Daniels hurt in the body and set up for a spectacular finish somewhere along the way.
Well, one undisputed champion is performing very strongly on this very special night of World Championship Boxing. Let's send it down now to Jim Lampley in Miami to check in on light heavyweight champ Roy Jones.
A beautiful warm night in the Magic City of Miami, and while the city celebrates its Saturday night, Roy Jones sits in his dressing room and watches the combat in Reading, Pennsylvania, and shows you his opinion of the Daniels-Hopkins fight as he waits his turn on HBO to take on Len Kelly, the Australian challenger for Jones's light heavyweight crown. Ever comfortable in the spotlight, Roy Jones, as he watches in Miami, and we take you back for more of the middleweight action in Reading.
Put the pressure in there, baby.
2 undisputed champions on the same night on HBO.
Bernard Hopkins relying, for the most part, solely on power punches. 28 of 43 in round 5, 65%. And Daniels' output slowing down, 6 of 18.
A whole lot less clinching in this fight than I thought there might be, George.
Yeah, Daniel understandably is trying to get out of the way. He doesn't really want to stand and hug with this guy. Problem is, you get out of the way and don't throw shots. It's just going to give Hopkins more courage to come after you with harder shots. Maybe clinching may be a better strategy for him. Now Hopkins is showing no fear. He just stands there, turn the hook properly like you're teaching a class of boxing.
What about this point, George? Bernard Hopkins has fought, for the most part, his entire career as a middleweight. Carl Daniels started out as a junior welterweight. This is only his 11th fight as a middleweight. Does that have an effect on his power?
I don't think any of that had any effects. We saw with Felix Trinidad move up and up power as he went up. Ooh. Hopkins got him following him around now without moving his head, fall into traps. So Daniel is better do something quick. You don't want to follow a punch around and not move your head or your feet. This is where Hopkins is at his best, when you follow him a little bit, not do anything.
Big shots here in the middle of the ring in the 6th round. Give Carl Daniels this. He did not just come here to survive.
Oh, he's taking some hard shots, and he's trying his best to get in with 1 or 2 more. But you can see now he's trying to hide his body. Those hard body shots are starting to pay dividends.
Hopkins continues to work the right midsection of Carl Daniels with his left hook. Daniels fights through, though, with a quick 1-2.
Listen, you're finishing up the round 9.
Baby, get close. Get close. Yes, sir. Go with the body. Go in the body. Go in that body. Move, baby. Be deep on it. That'll baby.
When you're on the inside, when you just trying to tie you up, let that stuff go, baby. Hey, look. This is 7th round.
Keep him up, Bernard. Be in trouble if you don't.
Stop his leg for me. Stop his leg for me. Stop him, my son. Stop him.
You may see there is a big welt along the left eye of Hopkins. Doesn't look dangerous at this point.
All right, 6 of the scheduled 12 rounds are in the books. Let's bring in Arthur McCanty Sr. to see how he has the fight score.
I have the score Hopkins by a score of 60 to 54 in favor of Hopkins. Daniels is mainly on the defense, and he's getting trapped in the corners too much, and that's a very, very dangerous place for fighters to be.
I think it's a wonderful thing that Daniel has got Hopkins thinking about maybe the side of his face now. He can just tap it a few times. He can change things just a little bit, not a whole lot. You better get there quick.
Because Hopkins is still on the aggressive attack.
The thing about fighting the southpaw, you got to make sure you keep your head out of the way. These headbutts can really mess up things a lot more than even a punch. Ooh. There's a lot of sound to it, but not a lot of power because he made it a looping shot. Hopkins did.
Daniels was able to get his defense up. Bernard Hopkins simply quicker to the punch all night long.
Daniel is starting to look at the side of Hopkins' head, trying to land a shot on that little sore spot. He's got to lead with his left and just throw the old right hook.
All right, stop. Stop. Break. Step back, Bernard.
The But George, should he be so concerned with that?
Oh, you got to have
him out of his game plan.
He's got to have something now to concern himself with. He hasn't had anything else to give him any kind of courage, any kind of confidence. That's the only thing he has. I think he should center in on it. Right, left.
The Sovereign Center certainly getting their money's worth as Bernard Hopkins and Carl Daniels trade big shots at close range.
Not actually fighting yet. Son. Yeah, I get him out. No question. You got it. Than anything. You know what I'm saying? You gotta make it a fight now, brother. Cause you behind, baby. I ain't gonna lie to you. You're behind. You got to knock this sucker out the win, brother. You're in his home. He can do it too. You got to knock him out. All he can do. You can do it. Come on, let's go get him. Come on, let's go, baby. Let's go, Daniels. Let's go, Daniels.
Here's where we find out whether Daniels has already conceded the win, or is he going to really try to hurt Hopkins and perhaps give himself a chance?
Well, you heard Daniels' trainer, Tommy Brooks, say, I'm not going to lie to you, you're behind, especially being in his hometown. Now you have to make it a fight.
He told him he's going to have to take Hopkins out. That's probably the only opportunity that Hopkins would need if him start trying to get a little aggressive. He'll clean him out. He's in an awkward position now, a boxer. Not much of, whoa!
But he catches Hopkins there, 2 shots to the head.
Daniels he keeps his eyes right on Hopkins, as though he's looking for something.
Stop. Step back. Step back. Step back.
Give me the bully, Bobby. Bring the bully out. Bring the bully out. Give me the bully.
Hopkins unleashing a straight right hand.
There we go. Get punch. Get punch.
Daniel is trying to find himself in the pocket of Hopkins. Gets a little close. Look like he's just setting his defense, but he's not. He is trying to drive in some kind of uppercut with a left hand.
But at what point, George, does Carl Daniels need to become more active?
I think that he's conceded the activity part now. He's just looking for one shot. There it is, one. All night he's got his eye looking at that shot.
Made Hopkins miss there, and he came back with a counter straight left.
Yeah, he didn't come for this. Keep working it.
Stop. Stop. Step back. Step back. Step back.
You got to be careful when you're fighting a guy like Daniel who fight with his eyes, watching everything.
All right, my turn, fellas.
Undisputed middleweight champion Bernard Hopkins in complete control here as the 8th round comes to a close. We will see undisputed light heavyweight champion Roy Jones after this fight. And for more on that, let's send it down to Miami and Jim Lampley.
And here in Miami, while the crowd in the American Airlines Arena watches Hopkins Daniels on the big screen, Roy Jones has dispensed with watching the middleweight fight and has begun to warm up for his assignment here, a light heavyweight defense against Glenn Kelly. Meanwhile, a programming note on HBO, starting March 28th. Look for the return of On the Record with Bob Costas after last season's debut. Look for more of Bob with special guests from the worlds of sports.
Blood now coming from the right nostril of Carl Daniels.
Daniel is trying to set a trap. 2 steps forward, back up, trying to get that left uppercut in.
Hard, crisp, right shot to the body by Bernard Hopkins.
Hopkins not letting him off. Makes him pay for every step back.
Total punches from CompuBox punch stats, Hopkins more than doubling Daniels' output in the landing department, 169 to 82, and Hopkins obviously throwing more, 386 to 215.
No. Daniels sits, trying to get in position for that uppercut. I'm telling you, trying all night.
Exhibition by the champion, knowing he has a slick operator in front of him, is gradually taking everything out of him.
Daniels telling Hopkins to come on, and both fighters now exchanging artillery.
Daniels now talking to Hopkins.
I think that's about all he can do. Hopkins is throwing so much leather, he can't do anything.
5 left hooks from Bernard Hopkins. Has been quicker to the punch all night long. He's come through with more aggression, and he is easily in control through 9.
Not open, it's not open, it's just trying to swell, Bernard. Just trying to swell. Keep it down, man. Almost got it, nigga. Keep doing what you're doing. Almost got it. Oh, yeah, baby. You ready to go? Keep doing what you're doing. Ready to go. Double shot the wrench. You know what I'm saying? He knows that you're behind. That's why he's doing what he's doing. In order for you to get back in this fight, you're going to have to shake him up.
This is how Bernard Hopkins got here. Beating a lot of opponents you never heard of, some you have heard of, always ready to fight. Always ready to fight, no matter what style, no matter what inspiration is in front of him.
Let's bring in Arthur McCanty Sr. to see how he has the fight scored through 9.
I have it as a complete shutout. I find that Daniels is fighting a very defensive fight and is being allowed to be caught in the corners, which is a highly, highly dangerous position to be in. So I have the score at present 90-80.
Now Hopkins starting to use his left jab a little bit. Hopkins keeps his hands up. Though he's in control, he's still not getting too awkward and dropping his hands too much. Back to the basics.
Bernard Hopkins has been a hard, serious, successful fighter his entire career, but just now starting to get under the limelight. His first $1 million payday was against Keith Holmes. Hopkins says it doesn't matter. He's been saving his money all along. He told us yesterday he's just started tipping at restaurants.
I'd like to see him, Oscar De La Hoya. That's what I'd like to see.
Waiters and waitresses used to run when Bernard came into the restaurant.
The good thing about this, Hopkins has deserted all of his bad tactics. He's really fighting a clean boxing match.
It really is. We thought there was potential for some dirty antics just from the standpoint of the difficulties in the styles. Slick southpaw.
He's been true to form now. He's fighting like a real champion. Throwing left hand, jab, going underneath with hooks, straight right hand, lead right hands, then hooks. Everything you want. Picture book fighter tonight.
Displaying both quickness and power.
Stands on his pocket.
Yeah, what impresses me is that here he is at the age of 37.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was
just
coming.
Just turned 37.
I knew it.
And still has the motivation to get into supreme condition every time out.
All right, stop, fellas, stop.
Undisputed light heavyweight Roy Jones is no longer watching, but he might want to take a peek. Bernard Hopkins is serious. Let's send it down to Jim Lampley in Miami on this special night of HBO Boxing.
And we bring you back to the American Airlines Arena to remind you once again that in moments now you'll be seeing that man, Sydney, Australia sanitation worker Glenn Kelly, the latest in the long line of relatively anonymous challengers for Roy Jones Jr.'s undisputed light heavyweight crown. As always, the spotlight is on Jones. The expectation is for an easy Roy Jones victory. We'll see if that's what happens when we come back down here for the second half of our two undisputed champions doubleheader. Back to Reading.
The referee, Frank Cappuccino, is waving the fight off. The fight is over. Carl
Daniels' corner elected not to go on. Those body shots were breaking him in half.
And there was no way. This guy Daniel has no power to pull it out in the latter rounds. It was a merciful decision.
You know, he told us, George, that his mother told him he is a great-grandson of Joe Louis.
Isn't that something?
Judging by how he fights, I would have to question that genealogy.
He got put on a good shot. He just didn't have the punching power to keep Bernard Hopkins off of him.
You're right.
He fought every minute.
Let's take a listen in to see exactly what happened.
Right here, baby. Close him up a little faster, man. Tell him a little fast. Be quick.
There you saw it. Carl Daniels shook his head. Tommy Brooks asked him how he felt, and he simply shook his head, no.
Tommy Brooks is a merciful guy because he'd seen this guy really taking a big, bad beating from Bernard Hopkins, and it wasn't going to get any better. I don't know if I would quit, but job of the corner to to say, I don't want any more. But it was a merciful thing to do. He wasn't going to get any better. Probably he was going to get the worst of it if the fight would go on.
All right, George, and now for the official decision, let's send it into the ring. Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, upon advice of the corner, this bout has been stopped by a referee in charge, Frank Cappuccino, at the end of round number 10. The winner by way of technical knockout, and still the undisputed middleweight champion of the world, Bernard, the Executioner Hopkins.
So Bernard Hopkins remains the undisputed middleweight champion, and he did in impressive fashion. Let's take a look at the final punch stat numbers. Hopkins more than doubling Daniels' landed output, landing at a 45% rate. Daniels at 38%, but throwing just 249 punches. And here's where Bernard Hopkins won this fight. Power shot after power shot to the body. 199, nearly 4 times more shots landed by Hopkins than Daniels, landing at a 56% clip. Very impressive. Larry Merchant is standing by with the winner, undisputed middleweight champ Bernard Hopkins.
All right, thank you very much. Bernard, congratulations. What is your feeling about setting a new record for successful middleweight championship defenses?
It's great, Larry. It's great. It's great because no one can take that away from me. My daughter, which is 3 years old, can remember that when she's 18, when people get to talk about her father. But first, I'd like to thank Ronnie Palace, GoldenPalace.com, and Ronnie Palace for sponsorship.
We don't do commercials here,
they
Bernard.
paid me. The check is in the bank.
Well, that's their problem, not ours.
All right, but I'd like to thank them.
You were facing a slick, cute southpaw. You've seen a few hundred of them along the way. Was there anything different about this? How did you go about it?
Well, I went about it the same way. They tried to storm my will on Carl Daniels, but he was tricky. I mean, southpaws are tricky. And you know, Larry, I don't know how I look until I watch the tape, but I never really looked tremendous with southpaws because he really didn't come to fight as far as exchanging. But you know, hopefully I don't have to see another southpaw no time soon.
All right, it seems that you decided early on you better break them down to the body systematically. Let's take a look at a lot of those body punches and tell us about them.
Well, I was out too far a little bit on some of the body shots, but I wanted to keep digging right there. The left hook to the body, I worked in camp with it and wear him down because I know he was a mover and he covered his face up pretty good. And he gives you the body because he don't want to get hit upstairs. So I kept on left hooks to the body and hopefully, you know, put money in the bank and get him later on.
Do you think that this performance is the kind of performance that will stand out enough for the boxing media, the boxing public, to put you on top of the rankings of pound-for-pound fighters to demand a rematch and showdown with Roy Jones?
As long as I'm a threat, that's all that matters to me. And you know what? I believe Vernon Forrest, my good friend who beat Shane Mosley, who most media had in front of me, should get the #1 spot. But you know what? I'm like this, Larry. Whatever the public demands, they can have. I want RJ, Roy Jones, pig raising, turtle raising, whatever he is. That's who I want to beat, Larry. But if they want to give me pound for pound, or pound for two, or pound for one, great. Come on with it.
All right. Let's talk about the possible rematch showdown. There are two aspects. One is the money. Roy has stated his light heavyweight championship is on the line. He's been a star for a lot of years. He thinks he deserves more money. What is your response to that?
Well, Roy Jones been eating a little bit more that much dog food that he was feeding his pit bulls down in Pensacola, and it's starting to show on his brain. Roy Jones haven't done lately in the world of boxing to even consider himself pound for pound or even a superstar. Now, Roy Jones Jr. can't expect to get more than Bernard Hopkins after the tournament.
All right, let's talk to you down there, Roy. Roy, give us your response to what you're hearing up here.
Sound like two cats that really don't know what the hell they're talking about to me. Did you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Roy.
I said it sound like two cats that don't have an idea what the hell they talking about to me.
So, Roy, when you say you feel you have earned the right to have the bigger share of whatever pot there is, you're going to stand by that. Is that what you're telling us?
You damn right.
All right.
Well, that's a major problem already, Larry, and he's setting the stage right now. You know, only person can stop this, Larry, is Ross Greenberg and the people at HBO, because I'm going to force Roy to get out of boxing, or I'm going to expose him as a hypocrite to everybody.
Yeah, you do that for me, Bernard. That'd be very nice of you. And you probably should take some good English passes.
I'm ready. Hey, Roy, you thought I'd be going by now, but you know what? It's been since '93, baby, and beating Trinidad forced you to fight me. You didn't want Trinidad to fight me because you wanted an easy fight. But I'm going to tell you, Roy, I ain't going nowhere. I ain't going nowhere unless I get assassinated. I'm not going nowhere unless I get assassinated.
Where did I think you was going?
Hey, Roy, only thing you got to do is tell the world right now that the best pound-for-pound fighters, undisputed, is going to fight each other at a reasonable catch weight, and we'll split 50-50 down the middle, and let's do the fight by June. Come on, Roy, time to pit up and shut up.
How are we going to split 50-50?
All right, let's go to that. Roy, let's talk about reasonable catch weight. Bernard weighed 158 for this fight. He's averaged around 158 for his last 4 or 5 fights. You weighed 172. You've averaged around 173 for your last 4 or 5 fights. Can you cut the difference in half? You move down around 7 pounds. He moves up around 7. Or do you demand some other kind of catch weight?
You know what? Right now, you know, it's like I got a guy here in front of me that I ain't looking past right now that's 6 pounds heavier than me right now. I'm really too big for Bernard Hopkins. I beat Bernard Hopkins before with one hand. I mean, you know, whatever I can do that's feasible, that with the weight I can make, I'll fight it. You know what I'm saying? It's not like that. With me, it's just that y'all try to peep the game. Hey, Roy, like he beat one fighter that has a name. One fighter that has a name. And that's it.
You just said
after that.
You said you bigger.
You know what I'm saying? What else is happening after that?
This the hypocrite about you. You just said just now to the whole wide world that you're bigger than. You just said right now to the whole wide world that you're bigger than me, and so by you being bigger than me, that should make it easy for you to want to fight.
You know, at the end of the day, Roy and Bernard,
I'm bigger than
this is going to happen. This is going to happen.
I never said don't want
both of you.
I never said don't want to
make it happen,
right split, and
regardless, and find a way to make it happen.
Right split, your ass is choked. You know, I don't give a damn about no fight.
Talk is cheap.
Hey, I'm the champ. I'm the champ. I'm the right heavyweight champ of the world. You want to try me for my title?
Who I am?
You want to try me for my title? 60-40, you get your ass kicked. 60-40, you get your ass tore up. 60-40, you get your ass kicked. 60-40, I kick your ass. Well, I kick your ass. 60-40, I kick your ass. 64, I tear your ass up.
Negotiate any further here.
He don't want to fight.
You have a fight. You have a fight in front of you, Roy. Good luck in Miami. Back to ringside.
All right, Larry. George, I don't know about you, but after hearing that, I'm ready to see this fight right now.
No doubt about it. It'll be a really beautiful fight. I think that those guys should split the purse and get it on.
We saw Bernard Hopkins tonight systematically break down Carl Daniels with those power shots to the